So as property is sold to many people, seminars, 2-day events, 3-day events, masterclasses, mentorships, I'm not slating that at all, but a lot of the time things are made to be a lot easier than they actually are. So as I've said, there's been numerous challenges not just construction, but working with certain individuals, finding trustworthy, honest, reliable people. It's not always just builders, it's sometimes professionals. You can be talking about solicitors, architects, surveyors, structural engineers. For you to have a power team who are all solid, it takes a few years in the game to get to that. But that's what we're working towards. So today, this will be an update of the whole project, where we're at the moment, a few of the challenges that we've had, and hopefully the next video will be when everything is 100% complete and we are ready to market and get some tenants into the property. So where we're at now compared to 10 months ago when we did that last video, extension is built. Obviously that is what I'm standing in at the moment. This is the kitchen living space for flat 1. Flat 1, which is on the ground floor, is actually just a 1-bedroom flat now. So if you go back to the last video, I said I was building two 2-bedroom flats. If you want to know why I'm doing just a 1-bedroom, you can send me a message and we can have that conversation. So extension's built, roof is on, everything is watertight. I had a few little issues on the roof of the main house where we had to put up some scaffolding, strip the roof back slightly with the neighbours, where his slates were actually joining our tiles. It was just appalling, lots of cracks, holes in the felt, so we had to put a bit of a GRP valley in, tile over the front of that, something which you think would have cost a couple £100, cost a lot more. The suspended ceiling on the ground floor. So the suspended ceiling had to go in between the 2 separating floors because you've obviously got 2 separate flats. So you had a metal ceiling, MF ceiling they call it, metal frame, put in on the ground floor, and we had to double board that with 2 layers of 12.5mm soundboard, which you can see. And then on the first floor, we've had to put down an acoustic chipboard. Now, as everyone knows, COVID times, Brexit, lack of drivers, and the price of materials, timber especially, this floor, a few months ago we were looking at, let's just say, about £30 a sheet. When I ordered it, I'll tell you what I paid. I paid over £1,000 for all the flooring. But there was no dodging corners or buying anything cheap. I had to put acoustic flooring down and I had to put the MF ceiling with a double board because the flats have to pass the sound test after everything is done. This is where I've also learned, I've never done a new build, but the fella from building control basically said to me, "You've picked some project here, mate." And I sort of said, "What do you mean?" And he said, if you were doing a new build, so many of these little issues on the roof, with the joists, we had to put furrings on because they were all over the place. When we put the ceiling up, the joists were all over the place. If you were doing a new build, everything is square, level, plumb, no issues. Obviously, you still have your challenges, but it's a lot easier. So maybe on the next project, I might go and build 2 detached houses, and hopefully there'll be a lot less stress involved. But we'll see. Let's go into some of the specifics now of the jobs that have been done. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about a couple of the things that have taken a very long time. So 2 of them, we've got the 2 water mains that I had to get in the building. So getting these two water mains in, there's numerous applications that you have to fill out, sheets of paper, speak to numerous people from the water board. Nothing is quick. It's not a quick phone call, someone comes over and they fit the water. It doesn't work like that. Because it's private land, I have to find the contractor myself. He had to run 2 new 25mm water pipes, poly pipes. We'll show you these. These had to be 750 below the ground from the back of the extension all the way through to where the mains is, which we will actually show you as well. So all the houses along this road, they actually have their water mains at the front of the house, but for some reason mine is at the back. Typical, isn't it? And it was a lot of work. It was major. It's not just digging a couple of holes and putting some water pipes in. I actually learnt this new system that these water contractors use called molding, where they dig several holes, they put the pipe in and it actually molds the pipe through. So that's the water mains. You've actually got one that comes in on the ground floor for obviously the ground floor flat. And the other one, well, I actually had a few discussions with numerous people from the water board about this. It comes in the extension, which is obviously ground floor flat. It goes up into the roof void and then goes up into the first floor flat. If you look at the water regs, they say that you can't run water pipes through other flats that they're not serving. But I had this all cross-checked prior to me doing any work. I had it all in writing because when the inspector actually came out and he saw that, the way he looked at me, I knew straight away what he was thinking, and I just showed him the email and he said, okay, you've got it in writing, that's fine. So that there, never assume anything. And even when someone is telling you something and you think, is that correct? Or maybe it should be done this way, because I actually had 2 people from the water board. One said, no, you'll be fine. And the other said, no, it won't pass water regs. So once I had it in writing, I showed the inspector, it all passed, it's all fine. Really interesting. So at the moment, we've got water in the building and it's just a trickle flow. So they give you a trickle flow of water. And once the inspector actually comes out, once all the toilets are fitted and the bathrooms are all out, and there's numerous things that have to be done in a certain way, which my plumbers have to be very aware of. And then once he's all passed and he's happy with everything, they give us a full flow of water. So at the moment, we just have a trickle flow, which I'll show you. When I say trickle flow, it is a trickle flow. And when the plasterers were here the other day, dot and dabbing this whole house, I told them when they first got here, they need to start filling their buckets up. It was a bit ridiculous, to be honest, but there's nothing I can do. So that's the water. The gas, we had a supply that came in at the front of the house. It came underneath the bay window. So there was no gas in the building, but we had a gas pipe that came in and it was just capped off. So I hoped that we could use that gas supply for both flats. That wasn't the case, because there wasn't enough gas coming through that pipe. So we could use that pipe for one of the flats. So there was a little bit less money that had to be forked out on my side. And the other gas pipe was a brand new supply. So I had to trench out on my side. They had to trench out the pavement, connect it all up, and then that's the other supply. So these costs are, how do I put it? We're not talking £200 or £300. And the work that the water board and the gas board do is very minimal. They come for like a day. The water board come, they connect up their water on their side, and the gas board, they come, and what they do in a day. And it's a lot of money, to be honest, but you can't do anything with these fees. It is what it is. You either pay it or you don't, and you have to pay it. So that was the water and the gas. The electrics was actually all good. So we've got 100 amp single phase coming into the building, which in this whole building, I don't have electric heating. It's all gas central heating, combi boilers. But if I had electric heating, in this whole building, that single phase 100 amp would have to be upgraded to 3 phase, which I had a quote for, and we were looking at about £6,000. Once again, they have to dig up the road, find where the electric mains is, and tap onto it, etc. So that was one thing which I didn't actually have to fork out for. which worked in my favour. So something I haven't mentioned, the dormer, I'll show you in a couple of pictures, was in an absolute state. You couldn't salvage any of the timber, so we rebuilt it, kept it exactly the same size, and cladded it in lead and a nice felt roof, as you can see. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in on the next video.